Let's briefly touch on the pandemic because I think I have one original thought.
Okay.
Oh,
Dave Orrick writes in today's Pioneer Press, which I have no idea where the building is, by the way. I have no idea where the...
Oh, yeah, you shared that story on Sports Talk. Kenny didn't hear that.
So, Kenny,
What?
I go downtown Monday to the Comcast building, which has been home to the Pioneer Press for about 4 or 5 years. And I went in, I had to see my tax guy in the same building. And I was not allowed to go up to the tax guy's office, but they sent a gal down to pick up my stuff. And while I'm shooting the breeze with the guard there, I said, I think I'm going to run up to the paper, see how things are doing. He said, well, they're not there. I said, what do you mean they're not there? He said, they're no longer in this building. I said,
Oh, yeah? Since when?
I said, where did they go? He said, oh, they're on some little building on Fillmore Street. So I went looking for it, and I didn't find it, and I have no idea where there is a physical Pioneer Press.
by a little building like a garage or a
Something like
storage
that.
space.
Our square footage has been shrinking.
Ted's shed on Fillmore.
Yeah.
Did it kind of feel like that weekend you came home from college as a kid and found out that your mom and dad had moved away and left no forwarding address to their kids?
That was the damnedest thing. Orrick writes, coronavirus vaccinations are ahead of schedule. So much so that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz on Tuesday announced a widened pool of those eligible. And the vaccines are working so well that the National Centers for Disease Control and Prevention this week said people who are fully vaccinated can gather privately in limited numbers and under certain criteria without masks. And in Minnesota, hospitalizations and deaths from COVID-19 have plummeted to levels not seen since the spring of 2020. So Walz has got to be close to loosening the dials he refers to when discussing coronavirus restrictions he has enacted under emergency powers he first claimed nearly a year ago. Right? Well, it seems like it, but Walz on Tuesday refused to commit to specifics, underscoring the tricky position the state finds itself in as all indicators are looking good except for one. Highly contagious coronavirus variants are spreading. Okay, I'm going to stop there. It's a great piece. You should all read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing because, look, so long as Walz is governor, we're never going to be free of his thumb.
No.
I think that should become evident to anyone, regardless of your political affiliation. He has seized upon this. He has seized upon this to continue to have his emergency powers, and so long as he's governor, we're under his thumb. I don't think there's any other way to look at it. But the one original thought I have is so let's say we can clear up what's called the coronavirus. The next thing they've jumped on is, well, we can't really let you go yet because we're worried now about variants. Mm-hmm. Haven't there been variants of viruses since the beginning of time? Mm-hmm. In other words, the variant is now being offered to us or presented to us as something new and alarming that's never existed before. This coronavirus is spouting its own, it's creating its own variants, and we can't let you go yet. We can't let you go to a concert. We can't let you go to a ball game. We can't let you do anything. We have to watch now for the variant. Well, I got news for you. The variant will create a variant. Variants have been with the human condition since the beginning of time, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, wouldn't the flu, if you can trace it back far enough throughout the ages, has always been developing variants?
I don't know. I'm a lawyer, not a doctor. I don't know.
How about this fact, too? Because I saw this the other day, and I know I always bring her up, but just bear with me. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem.
Oops, town ball story.
No. I promise this is relevant to what Joe's talking about. This is the other aspect of it, too, Joe. She tweeted the following on February 22nd. The Dems' COVID spending basis, state aid on unemployment rate, not just population. Okay? Mm-hmm. So California, 9% unemployment, and New York, 8.2% unemployment, would get far more money than the state of South Dakota, which just had 3% unemployment, just because we kept our economy open for business in South Dakota. Mm-hmm. Stop the bailouts, get America back to work. But that goes along with it.
Do you realize this bailout is so huge, it might compel people not to seek work?
Joe, it already has.
It's huge.
Yeah, this has been going on for
$2 trillion.
When the restaurants started to slowly reopen, I was talking to a restaurant owner that said, I can't get people to come back to work because they're making more money off of the state and the feds than they would be if they came back to work for me. And they just get to make that money working from home or staying home.
Well,
it all depends on who you are and the makeup of your personality. Because I also know people, union guys that were laid off, and the second a position opened, they were all over it.
Right.
But they had real paying jobs. But since you're talking governors, there's one thing I wanted to spring on you, Such, and this comes from Tom Hauser and KSTP.com. Minnesotans appear to be very consistent in how they view state and national leaders in handling of the coronavirus pandemic. Both Governor Tim Walz and President Biden get a 54% approval from 600 Minnesotans surveyed between March 4th and March 7th. 36% disapprove and 10% say, I don't know. But I thought that was interesting.
I've always said that Walz did not ask for this. And of course, that has me being accused of being in his camp. I don't think it's a question of whose camp anybody is in. He didn't ask for this. What I will say is he has grown bolder and bolder and bolder as he has grown into the role of being in charge of this.
Yeah, yeah.
And let me read you one more paragraph from Oryx piece. Epidemiologists from the Mayo Clinic to the University of Washington, including those he, meaning Walz, consults regularly. He consults. He's a fourth grade social studies teacher by trade. He has no more medical background than we do. Have noted that the most prevalent pattern of the American tale of the pandemic is this. Things get bad and people get serious and knock it down. And then things loosen up and it gets bad again. Those same epidemiologists are cautioning that the growing B.1.1.7 variant, first discovered in the United Kingdom, will likely lead to a rise in cases. But there are many varying opinions as to how large such a surge or diminutive bump it might be. We'll know in the next month, Walz said. No, you won't, Tim. You've been playing that month-to-month game now for more than a year. You're not going to know anything in a month. We don't know anything more today based on what you tell us than we did a year ago. And now you're going to tell me you'll know all about the variant in a month? No, you won't.
Did they ever
be honest with us, Walz?
I don't remember them. I don't remember them ever updating us after what we thought was going to be a big push for the holidays, the Christmas holidays. Were we ever updated on that?
Yes. John had the story that there wasn't the surge, and whatever site he got it from credited the fact that most people did decide to stay home for the holidays.
Okay. Right. Did we get a Super Bowl surge? We were warned against that. Did we get a Super Bowl surge? I think not.
Not to my knowledge.
Now we're being cautioned against a spring break surge of all the kids in Florida. Super spreader event. Daytona 500, super spreader event. Everything's a super spreader. Indy 500.
Yeah. And speaking of that, the governor said he's going to get back to us on whether or not the Twins can play baseball.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Kenny, because I was just about to bring up Evan Grant. He writes for the Dallas Morning News, I believe. He tweeted 7 minutes ago that the Texas Rangers are going to allow 100% occupancy, masks required, at Globe Life Field for the opening day the team just announced. I believe the Twins are the only team so far that has not announced that they will have fans.
Plus, St. Peter needs 30 days, the president of the Twins, Dave St. Peter. Yes. He needs 30 days to get his ducks in a row.
Yep.
Well, Walz, you owe him an explanation now. That was 30 days from 2 days ago. They open at home April 8th. I'm prepared to say about Texas, good, open. This is, if we're going to be imprisoned ideologically, if not physically, by the idea that, okay, now we got to worry about a variant, then there is no end in sight. because you will always have a variant.
I'm not.
It's that.
Would you feel the same way, Joe, if you had yourself not been vaccinated?
Yes, but I always, I was never I was always intending to get vaccinated.
Okay.
So,
And I didn't say that to be critical. I was just wondering if that had any weight to your thinking.
well, having been vaccinated, I am more likely than the non-vaccinated to urge for more freedoms.
Sure.
Of course,
Sure.
of course.
Because I did
I
see
don't know if-
we're at, 25% now with adults that have been vaccinated in
Mm-hmm.
this country?
Okay, let's say everyone in Minnesota. Here's another game that Walz can play, and his people can play. Let's say everybody in Minnesota gets vaccinated. What's to prevent Walz from saying that's fine, but you still got to be cautious because not everybody in Iowa is vaccinated? When does this game end? The answer is it ends when we get a new governor. Is when it ends.
I think, Joe, tomorrow is tomorrow's March 11th, correct?
that's true.
So either tomorrow or Friday is the 1-year anniversary of 2 weeks to slow the spread.
2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. We just need 2 weeks, Kenny.
And this, you can throw into the hat along with that. Even though you're vaccinated, you better keep that mask on, Suchi boy.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier with the CDC guidelines of people who have been what guidelines? I'm vaccinated.
If you've been vaccinated, you can now gather with your family and friends again, but you better keep that mask on there, kiddo.
Right.
Okay, I'll play that game. The mask is in my pocket. If I got to go into Fratelloni's Ace Hardware, there's a sign on the door that says, "Please wear a mask."
And
Okay,
then boom, you put it on.
I put it on. I've never had a problem with that. I kind
Neither
of,
have I.
I'm amused that that's going to protect me from anything.
You-
but I have it in my pocket.
Such, you are not going to sit, well, for you it would be 7 innings of a Twins game wearing a mask.
No, I will
outdoors.
not. Of course not.
You will not do it.
Of course
Nor
not.
will I. Nor
Of
will
course
I.
not. Of
You
course
know
not.
why? Because you're outside.
But you'll be asked to leave
Yeah,
if
you're
you don't
right.
have it on. So there you go.
Now Texas, which is maskless, is reversing course on the baseball crowd. They must be masked.
That was a team announcement.
all right.
So the team said, we're going to do 100% occupancy, but you are required to wear a mask.
Well, if you want to hide behind a tennis net in a BB gun fight, you go right ahead, I guess.
Such, you think I'm a heavy breather now? You ought to
Yeah.
hear me with a mask on. Holy crap.
Okay, I wear them, euphorians. I wear them.
We all do.
And I will.
Got
I
a big
will.
old box.
I will. I will acknowledge the request that various enterprises, stores, and whatnot want from me, and I'll be glad to wear it. It's not a problem.
I wear the ghetto mask, though. I wear the throwaway blue ones. That
But
nice
it's-
mask your mom made for me,
Oh, yeah,
Reavers.
yeah.
It's in the background. It's wrapped around a GL coffee cup back there.
The kind of mask, Kenny, that if it's a nice rain like today, it's going to disintegrate.
Based on this story
Yes,
today, based on this story
yes.
today, when Walz had every opportunity in the world to be lighthearted, optimistic, and say, "Yeah, let's open." Yes, he went the other way. I am now as convinced as I've ever been that we will not get out from under his thumb until we have a new governor. I don't see this changing. I don't see this changing.
Because there'll always be, what's that one word, Such? Well, there'll always be a risk.
Of course, yeah.
Can I, and I can't believe I'm the one that's about to throw the devil's advocate here, but do you think any of this has to do with the fact that the upcoming trial? In other words,
What do you mean?
The fact that there's probably going to be large gatherings, the fact that there's probably
Well, but no,
does
you're
that have
missing
any
a-
bearing?
You're missing a key point. You're missing a key point. Those protest gatherings have never been admonished
True,
for their togetherness.
you're right.
Never.
Yep.
They've always gotten away with it.
you're right.
Remember,
Yeah.
go back to George Floyd's funeral. Well, this is a very unique event. Well, so is my grandmother's funeral.
Yeah.
But you were willing to waive the rules for all that. Look at,
Yeah.
there's always going to be a variant, and we're always going to be under this guy's thumb. That's as simple as we can. I don't even think I'm ripping him. I'm just giving you a fact. We are going to be under his thumb until there's a new governor, because this governor is never going to be prepared to say, we're as free from this now as we ever will be. Let's open up. This governor will never say that.